Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Phil Bergner. Today we're going to be talking about how we can use Einstein Vision to help categorize our photos. Has anyone here used any of the Einstein APIs before? Okay, a couple people, maybe. All right, the general vibe I'm getting is not everyone, but everyone is super excited to learn how to do it. So a little bit about myself. My name is Phil Bergner. I'm a product architect. I've been doing Salesforce development for about 7 years. I work on a forms and field service application called Eureka. We actually do utilize Einstein to help our customers in the field classify their photos with our mobile apps. Basically, you have a mobile app, you're out in the field, you can snap a photo, get instant feedback from Einstein. This is the forward-looking statement I think everyone's pretty familiar with. Basically, don't make any purchases for features that have not yet been released. What you're going to learn today. So we're going to talk a little bit about Einstein Vision. For those of you who don't know, Einstein Vision has kind of two options. One is image classification that we're going to talk about today. The other one is object detection. Object detection is really recognizing instances of an object within a photo. It'll tell you where they are in the image and how many occurrences there are. Classification that we're going to be focused on today is really just what is this a picture of? So kind of a little bit of a simpler version. The other APIs available are natural language processing related. They are sentiment and intent classification. We'll also be covering how to prepare and upload photos and train Einstein. We're going to go through a quick demo of Einstein Vision in action. And then at the end, I'm going to wrap up with some next steps. So I'm going to give you guys all of this code that I'm going to be showing today and give you some ideas for next steps, what you could do on your own to help kind of build out the functionality on top of what I provided. So we're going to start with Einstein Vision. So you might say, Phil, at the end, this seems like cool technology, but what can I actually do with this? The first step is going to be upload the sample images, right? Oh, whoops. Sorry, I skipped one. Nope. You're going to upload the sample images, right? You're going to take all your photos. You're going to run a few commands to train Einstein, and that's it. You're going to be done. You're going to be able to use it to send sample images and get back results. Going back to kind of how can I use this, there are several industries where this could be really useful. You could use it to expedite a site inspection. So if I'm an on-site inspector, I could snap a photo of mold and have that instantly classified. Like, what type of mold was that? And the really powerful thing about that is that I don't have to be a subject matter expert, right? I could be anywhere in the field, snap a photo. I could have my subject matter expert build those models for me. So they're taking and classifying all the photos in advance. And then I'm tapping into that on the fly by just snapping a photo of it. Another example will be product compliance, right? So it could be a store audit. I snap a photo. I'm verifying that my brand is displayed properly. I'm verifying that it's placed in the correct spot, that it's facing the correct direction. It could be to assist a field service technician. So a technician could classify parts. So I could build my entire part catalog, just take photos of each item in my part catalog. I could use it to classify those parts. Like, this is the exact part that you thought it was. I could also build on top of that, say not only is that the correct part, I could do an API call to figure out, is this actually in stock? Do I have more available if I need to do a repair? So now we're actually ready to get started with Einstein. So what I'm going to do is go to api.einstein.ai/signup. You're going to be prompted to log in with Salesforce or Heroku. You could set this up in your company's sandbox, a developer org, wherever you want to do this. It's going to prompt you to log in. What you're going to get back from that is an RSA private key. Now, what we're going to do today is just copy and paste that into like a text file. That's what I'm suggesting you do just for trial and demo purposes. It's not best practice for how to handle an RSA key, but in order to make this easy for everyone to kind of try out at home, I'm just going to suggest just copy and paste this, use this as your demo org, and store that in text file because we're going to be using it later on. Just kind of walking you through steps on how you'll be able to recreate this process on your own, because I think it's really simple to do, and once you do it, it gives you a really good understanding of how everything works. So what I set up for you guys was an unmanaged package. This is the GitHub repo. It has an unmanaged package. You just go there. You build a button to click, say, deploy to Salesforce. It's going to be one click. It'll install in your org. It's going to prompt you to log in. And what that's going to do is install an unmanaged package that has kind of bootstrap code. So some of the behind-the-scenes code that's going to do the API callouts for you. And like I said, it's all unmanaged, so you'll be able to browse it, alter it, do whatever you want. It's just a good getting started point for understanding how all the callouts work and everything that's going on. It also has a sample page. You can try it out yourself. So take lots and lots of photos is the next step. So everyone says they're an amateur photographer. Here's your chance to prove it. Snap a lot of photos of, let's say you're doing the parts catalog example. If I have a specific part, I don't want to just take a sterile photo of that sitting on my desk, right? That's not how it's going to be photographed if I have a field technician working on it. If it's a component that is part of the example I'm going to be going through later is I'm doing a residential dryer repair as a field service technician. I don't want to just take that part, sit on my desk, and snap a couple photos. If it's part of a dryer repair, it's typically going to be like in a laundry room. It could be dimly lit. It could be attached to the back of a dryer. I want to make sure that I take the right photos based on relevant photos for how it's actually going to be photographed in the field. Include a wide variety of images, a lot of different angles, backgrounds, color, black and white photos, blurry photos, right? Not everyone has a steady hand. Make sure you capture it, and the more variety that Einstein has, the better job it's going to be able to do as far as recognizing your images. Like I'm saying, if you just upload 200 photos of it just sitting on your desk, it's not going to be that great. The models are really only going to be as good as you train them to be. And having a diverse photo set is really going to help you out with that. And like I said before, make sure it contains objects that it's typically seen with. So if it's a part that's bolted onto something else, make sure you photograph it in that environment. So now it's time to train Einstein. The next step we're going to do is go to this URL, api.einstein.ai/token. We're just going to enter a few pieces of information. So we're going to enter our email address. We're going to copy and paste the RSA key that we had from the previous step. We're going to enter number of minutes. Really, just put a big number in there. This is really just what we're going to do to complete the training process. Once we're actually using the code, it'll generate this for us. So this is really just to walk through the command line functionality that we're going to be doing to train Einstein. And what it's going to do is generate this token for you. Now, this is the auth token we're going to be using to kind of do some of our command line callouts to train Einstein. So once again, you want to copy and paste this and put it aside. So what I've done is created an Einstein cheat sheet for you. I'm joking, does using the command prompt make you look cooler? Yes. But I think what it does do is allow you to see what's going on behind the scenes, right? You can see exactly what's going on, what's getting sent to Einstein, and what's coming back. So that's what I'm suggesting you do to kind of get this up and going. There are some UIs available for this. I'm going to link to one at the end, which is a Salesforce developer evangelist put together, which has a UI for this. So once you kind of see what's going on, you could use that going forward if you want. But what you're going to want to do is take all your photos. So if I have my part catalog, right, I have a folder for each part in my catalog. I'm going to want to put those all into a zip file. And then I'm going to copy and paste from the cheat sheet, Word doc. Once again, I have it linked on my GitHub page. And I took it from the API documentation, put it all in one place, and showed you exactly what variables you're going to want to replace. So if you're looking at this command and saying, like, that looks kind of intimidating, or, what is all that stuff? There's really only a couple pieces of information that you need to replace. So I'm going to want to replace the bearer token, which I've highlighted here, which, once again, going back, it was the result that we got back from our auth token. I'm going to paste that in right here. And then you're going to point it to where your zip file is, right? So you need to tell it where all these files are that you're going to upload. And that's it. I'm going to hit enter, and it's going to upload all of those photos to Einstein. This is the result you're going to get back. It may not be formatted this nicely, but this is the information that's going to come back in the command prompt. Now, what is this? I've highlighted the dataset ID, which is really what you want. This is the reference number for all of my uploaded photos that I just sent to Einstein. It's giving me a bunch of other summary information as well, but really that's the ID that I want to use for the next step. So the next thing is, Einstein isn't smart yet. As far as it knows, you just uploaded a bunch of photos. The next command you're going to do is the train. So once again, from the cheat sheet, you're going to grab the train command. You're going to replace the bearer token, just like we did in the last step, which is really just your authorization to connect to Einstein. You're going to give it a name, and you're going to give it the dataset ID of where all these uploaded photos are. Now, you can get really fancy as far as the different parameters available for how you can train it, and you're welcome to play along with that, or play around with that. But for today, We're just going to go with all the defaults, just kind of simplify things. That's all. It's all documented well in the Einstein API documentation if you want to change any of the additional parameters. So once you send that, you're going to get this back. This is going to be your response back from the training. And you might be saying, Phil, did we just upload a bunch of photos, train Einstein in just a few commands? We did. And now we have our model ID back from Salesforce, from Einstein. So this is really the important ID. This is the end result of all of our uploading and training. We're going to want to copy this and put it in a safe place, like your sock drawer next to your Pokemon cards or whatever is important to you. This is the ID that we're going to be using going forward for all of our API calls. So let's do a quick summary of what we just did. We uploaded all of our images to Salesforce using the upload command. It's sent back our dataset ID. Once again, that's the ID that we use to reference our uploaded photos. We then took that dataset ID, along with all of our training options. We sent that to Einstein, and we got back our model ID. So that's the ID that we're going to be using for all of our callouts going forward. Wow. So that was my best Owen Wilson. If someone can do a better Owen Wilson, please come do it for me afterwards. So as part of the unmanaged package, I've included a custom metadata type. And really, this is just a configuration record that you're going to create so that once you've downloaded this in your org, this is where you're going to plug everything in. So you can give it a name. You can call it Vision. You can call it whatever you want. Then you're going to plug in the model number. So this is the one that we just got back, right? This is our reference point for our model that we've created with Einstein, the trained model. You're going to paste in the RSA key once again, and you're going to put in your email address. So this is really, once you plug this in, your org, along with the demo page that I have set up, is going to be good to go to use Einstein. You've plugged in your trained model. It has everything it needs to connect to the Einstein. So now it's time to test it out. So I'm going to show you a quick demo page I put together. Once again, in this scenario, I'm going to play the role of a field service technician performing a residential dryer repair. So once you download the unmanaged package, you're going to see a new app available. It's going to be Dreamforce 2018. Go ahead and click on that. Come in here, you're just going to see one tab, Einstein Vision. Go ahead and click on that. Now, this is just a real simple Visualforce page I put together. In reality, you may want to put this into a mobile app. You may want to bulkify this so you can upload a series of images that you want to be processed all together. It's really kind of up to you how you want to expand on this, but I at least wanted to give you an example that you can kind of play with as a baseline to see how the API works. So once again, I'm doing a dryer repair. I have a couple sample photos. One is a propane adapter. Go ahead and click OK to select that, and now I'm going to send it to Einstein. So it's actually doing the command. It's uploading that photo, and it comes back with a classification that is a propane adapter. It's 100% sure, and this is the photo that I just uploaded. So I'm going to go ahead and do one other one. This is not a propane adapter. Going to go ahead and hit send to Einstein. And it's going to come back. So my model was super simple, right? It's really binary. It's a propane adapter or not a propane adapter. In reality, you're going to want to build out your entire parts catalog. So it could be, your propane adapter, your natural gas adapter, any other parts that you would actually want it to be able to recognize. One thing that you definitely want to consider while you're doing this, and I think it's a design decision that everyone's going to have to handle on their own, is what do you do when it's not certain, right? When it comes back and it says, there's a 30% chance that this is a propane adapter. It's important if you want to prompt the user to say, hey, you know what? Maybe you took a really blurry photo. Einstein isn't sure. You could prompt them to take another photo. You could tell them, Einstein isn't sure what to do with this. You can say, you may want to reference some other information. But really, I think the best case would be just take another photo, at least give it one more shot, and see if it can do a better job of classification. As far as next steps, what I would suggest doing is maybe down here at the bottom, add two new buttons. So let's say it was misclassified, right? It comes back. It's very sure. It says there's a 90% chance it's a propane adapter, and you're looking at it, or your expert is looking at it and saying, you know what? That was incorrectly classified. Now, what's really cool is that they've thought of this, right? And it has a feedback API. And that's pretty powerful because what it allows you to do is make the model get smarter as you go. So you had all your baseline photos that you started with, but once you start getting real-world feedback, you can actually feed those back into your model and retrain it, and it will take those into account for all of its predictions going forward. So what I would suggest doing is playing around with this, adding some new buttons here at the bottom. Like this is a propane adapter, this isn't a propane adapter, correct or incorrect. And what I've done is, as part of the package, I actually have that command ready to go. So all you have to do is take those buttons. You can wire it up. Show it to you real quick. So basically, this is the callback. You can set up with, I've set up for JavaScript promoting. You could either use that or use, and make it Aura notated if you want to use a Lightning component, whatever you want. Go ahead and wire that up. Try it out. If you have any questions, maybe you're struggling with it, let me know. I could give you some tips, or I could just send you the code if you just want to plug it in yourself and start playing around with it. Hop back into my presentation real quick. So this is kind of just a recap of what I was just saying. Once you do that and you start sending it feedback, you can use the retrain command whenever you're ready. Just go ahead and say, process all this new information, build it back into the new model, and it'll start taking all that feedback of images that were misclassified and use it for all the predictions going forward. So like I said, it'll get smarter as you go. So that's pretty much it, right? We used a few simple command lines to take all of our own photos. We classified them. We put them all into their own directories. We zipped them up. We uploaded them to Einstein. We ran the train command, and it gave us back our model ID. It was really simple. We just plugged all that stuff into our custom metadata record, and we can immediately start using the page that I'm providing to help you just bootstrap getting started and get it going right out of the box. The other things that I do have on there are the Einstein command cheat sheet, which once again was the Word doc that had all those commands in there for you ready to go. I'll have my slide deck, Trailhead links, Einstein API links to all their documentation. And I also want to credit to Renee Winkelmeyer from Salesforce for building the wrapper functionality. Now, what I did for this is I stripped it down because it's a lot of classes, it's a lot of callouts. I stripped it down for this example and made it only a few classes, so it's really easy for everyone to kind of parse through. But if you're going to be using this in a production environment, I would say switch over to his library. It's a lot more inclusive of all the scenarios. Awesome. So, does anyone have any questions or? Sorry, what was that? Yes. All right. Cool. Any other questions? Awesome. Hope everyone found this helpful.